Here we are, Thoughts from the Office, Redneck Pride Outdoors. I'm going to give a talk at the New Jersey Waterfowlers on duck calling at their New Jersey Waterfowl Clinic. And, as I'm thinking about, the calls and all that, I'm reminded that duck calling the proper way is essentially a very simple thing. The hardest part is learning how to use your duck call, meaning how to talk into it. As I said, talk into it, not blow into it. Because most people want to blow into the duck call like they would a balloon. And your air and your control when you're blowing up a balloon is you stop breathing down here, you stop pushing air from down here, and you puff your cheeks out, take another breath, you're blowing hard, okay? Where duck calling, you're talking into the call. And that's why when we're teaching people how to duck call, we always say, well, say the word hut, or say the word what, or say the word huck, okay, or wook, And the reason we're saying that is because it's the easiest way for us to try to describe what we're doing when we're talking. If I say a statement, the ducks are coming in fast, but they flew right past us. Now, that's just a sentence that I said. But the key is, did I stop my airflow at all? And the answer is no. Just like I'm talking to you now, my airflow is not getting stopped. It's continually. The words are coming out. The words are coming out. So there's a constant airflow. You don't hear me talking like this. You hear me talking like this. It's the same thing with duck calls. When you're talking into your call, you're saying hut, 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 hut. Hut, 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 hut. Okay? If you're going to use the word hut. What? The reason we say the word is the beginning of the word means really nothing to us. It's the stopping of the word. What? The T. What? Hut. The T. Huck. The K or the C. Hut. What? Huck. They're the three stopping points, if you will, for your airflow. Your air pressure down here stays. Da 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 da. Okay? That's the feeder. Da 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 da. Your tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Ticka, ticka, ticka. Okay, that's your chuckle call. Ticka, ticka, ticka. Ticka, 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 ticka. All right? You're speaking into your duck call. And that's probably the hardest part because most people, what they want to do is they want to blow the duck call like they do a balloon. All right? And you can kill some ducks doing that. I'm going to throw your call away. If you're in my blind or in my boat and you're calling like that, I'm going to try to get your call and I'll probably throw it in the water. But you can kill some ducks. You really can. And so that's the hardest part. But everybody gets all hung up on the calling end of it. And what's going to happen is when I'm talking to the group, their mind is going, how do I sound like a duck? How do I sound like a duck? When I'm saying, the most important thing about duck calling is not sounding like a duck, but in fact, sounding like a duck that wants to be in the situation that you're in. What are you talking about, Jonesy? I'll mention to them, what type of hunting are you going to do? Most people won't know. Because most people are going to set up where they think there's going to be ducks, and they're not going to give any thought on what the duck wants at this point. For example, if you're on a long lake, in the middle of the lake shore, you got deep water out in front of you, meaning deep water, 3, 4, 5, 6 foot, and you're hunting puddle ducks, and you're in the middle of the lake shoreline that's a half a mile long, and you're set up there because you got some brush right there that's going to hide you well, and you take out and you walk out there in that 3, 4 foot of water, and you throw your decoys out 20, 30 yards. All right, and you snuggle back up on the bank, and you're sitting there. What type of shooting is that going to be? Well, it's going to be the same as along a straight river or along a river in deep water. It's going to be pass shooting. That's what you're going to have, pass shooting. Nothing wrong with setting up there because it's going to be pass shooting, but you've got to understand that you're going to be pass shooting. They're not going to drop their feet and land. The sane ones won't. The ones that want to commit suicide might. But number one, it's 3 foot of water. 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot of water. Ducks aren't going to be there. Now, if you take that spot and you put a sandy beach or dirt beach or a mud flat right there, now you have just changed your whole scenario. You just changed it to another scenario shooting. And if you put mud there or sand there, and your water, definitely, especially if your water is 18, 24 inches deep, you now possibly have changed it into a loafing or roost or resting spot. Especially if that spot is on a little cove or a little bend that will be out of the wind. So now you got a loafing spot. And what's going to happen on a loafing spot is, instead of the ducks just passing by, whereas on your pass by, you have your decoys out there. You do your duck call, whatever you do. The ducks are going to maybe swing into you, but why are they swinging into you? Just out of curiosity, or just out of hey, what's going on there? They're probably going to say, yo, dudes, why are you there? Ain't no reason to be there. Now you add a mud flat or a little sandy beach right there, or a little bit of shallow water right there where it's only, 1 foot, 2 foot deep. Got some lily pads, got some vegetation there. Well, get rid of the vegetation. It's the sandy beach or the mud flat. You now have a loafing or a resting spot. You may get the ducks that want to rest or loaf. You may get them to come in and drop their feet down. And at that point, okay, it's a different type of calling than you would have done on your pass by. And then you have the third spot, or third type of situation, which is a feeding spot. And a lot of times the feeding spot and loafing spots can be the same, but not always. And really, when you think about it, do the ducks feed all day? Usually not. Okay, so the ducks aren't feeding all day. Usually first thing in the morning, and usually last thing at night. Last few hours in the afternoon, they're going to go in to feed. All right, and they may dabble throughout the day, but for the most part, a lot of times, especially on a bluebird sunny day, temperatures are up 40 to 50 degrees, no wind. They're just chilling out, hanging out, man. So in all three of these situations, the calling could be different, or can be different. And what's going to happen is when I'm talking to the group today, that most folks are going to want an ABCD call. And the truth of the matter, I'm going to say call to match your situation. Now, if you're a brand new if you're a brand new duck hunter, it's going to be years before you understand what I'm talking about. So, what is the call? Number one, don't call hard on any of them. Don't call hard. Call is as hard as I'm talking right now. Number two, safe. Now, I call a lot, but I don't call long term except for beacon calls. So in other words, I may call a lot. I may do a sequence of 4 to 6 notes, shut down. 30 seconds to a minute later, another sequence of 4 to 6 notes, and then within 10 seconds do it again, and then calm down for another minute, 2 minutes, and then do it again. That's normal. That's if you ever listen to ducks loafing, that's what you're going to hear. And you're going to hear 4 to 6 on a attention type sounds. You're going to hear 1 to 2 quacks on just normal talk. So what do we do? Well, when you're doing it, and I tell people, and I'll tell the folks, listen, the only calls you really need to know, once you learn how to blow the call, is just the simple, here I am. That's it. Nothing big. That's it. Do it. See what the bird reaction is. If they flitter their wings a little bit, they stutter, they kind of like swing in and swing out, and then keep on going, then you do it again. All you need is a single quack and that call right there. Next call will be your dada, your feeder. And your tikka. Now your tikka is mainly going to be done into the air, so that's just an attention getter. You're flying by, you do your tikka, do your dadas. Okay. Duck calling isn't complicated. Learning how to blow the duck call can be. And probably the most important thing in my mind when calling ducks isn't per se the sounds that I'm making, just me saying the right words for the situation that I'm hunting. So understanding the situation that you're hunting. When you really work on it, when you really think about it, ducks are simple animals. Their vocabulary can be somewhat, and I can do the bouncing hen, the lonesome hen, the call, the comeback, the hail. I can tell you all these calls to make, but in reality, I don't need them. In reality, all I need is a single quack, a 1-2 quack, a 4-6 quack, a tikka, which would be your chuckle, and your dada, which would be your feeder. And then knowing when to use them in the right type of hunting that you're using. All right? If you're in a pass shooting situation and you're only going to pull the trigger on feet down and wings cupped, you ain't pulling the trigger. So you gotta, as soon as they're in range on a pass shooting situation, as soon as they're in range, not sky blasting, but as soon as they're in range, put it on their head, pull the trigger. All right. Oh, one more thing. You want to learn how to blow a call? Seriously. Play a song. When you learn to play a song into your duck call, you can now understand air pressure, air flow, air force, stopping the sounds with your tongue. Redneck's Pride Outdoors. I'll talk to you all later. I'll see you.